It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Hey, my name is Tyrone Lowe. The show is called The Legends. I want to thank everybody all over the world that actually give me love. And, what can I say? All I could do is give it back to you guys because without you guys, there wouldn't be no legends. This brother right here has a new single out, and I believe that he's been around for a good while, and he's from the South. He has a new single out, and we're going to talk about it. So to bring you to the stage, I have Chris Legacy in the house. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, Tyrone, man? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. So, we're going to get right into it. So, let's talk about you, man, growing up, and how did you actually get into the realm of music, man?
Man, music was always around me, man. I came up in a household with my folks, mom and pop sing, right? Came up in church, little small town in Mississippi called Moss Point. If you're not familiar with that area, it's near Gulfport, Biloxi, Mississippi. So yeah, so parents sing, man, sang all the time. We used to be a part of little talent shows and things of that nature. And one time I was sort of out front. Of course, I was a shy kid and I was out front and I got a chance to lead. And man, I tell you what, once the people started kind of reacting and getting excited about it, that did something to me. You know what I
Hey,
mean? That
you
it
got
became
you got
infectious, man.
sparked out there, man.
It became infectious. And so one thing led to another, and every opportunity that I got to sing, I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you take it seriously, man? I mean, to the point where you got into the studio and you wanted to make things happen and say, "Well, hey, I'm going to paint this picture of my life, man, and I'm going to stamp it out." You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if I ever got that serious early on,
Oh, really?
but
Okay.
I met a group of guys in school, in high school, and it was this girl that went to school with us. She heard us singing, some shoo wop, doo wop stuff, boys to men, right?
Right. Okay.
And she was like, "You guys should go record." And so we jumped in this car, Tyrone, ran over to this little place, man, jumped in there, ran in the studio, and recorded. That's a whole nother story, recording and the art of recording, right? Of course, we didn't understand that then. We just went in there and just sang whatever we could sing. And by the time the recording was complete, we were like, "Ooh, that don't sound good. That don't sound like us." But that was my first, I guess, flash at recording. But it was some years after that when I sort of took it serious.
Right.
Probably because I had access to folks that had studios, and so then I was like, "Oh, let me
Right.
just try my
Right.
hand at it." Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about your first recording, though. What was the name of it, and things like that.
Oh man, first recording. Sheesh.
Let's take it
So
back,
we've
bro.
been
Let's take it back. We gotta get
we
some history out of you, man.
we've been doing this for a while. We've been doing this for a while. And perhaps along the way it was more of a hobby as opposed to trying to be like a superstar or something like that. But wow, I think one of my first um recordings, well, not studio, it would have been like a little karaoke machine, Tyrone.
Okay.
I I took a karaoke machine and did with it what folks were. It was a little unprecedented back then.
Okay.
I would
Okay.
have an idea, and I would go to this karaoke machine. It had two slots.
Uh
Now,
huh.
folks that are watching this, if you're young, you probably don't know about cassette tapes, right? And you have
Of
the
course I
the
do.
A side, the B side. So, Tyrone, you
Yeah.
put that initial tape in on the A side, and I had an idea, and I would sing my little part. I would hit record, sing my little part, and then I'd take
Right.
that tape, Tyrone, put it on the other side,
Right.
put a new blank tape in, right?
Okay.
And then hit record, and whatever I sang in real time versus what I recorded, it would stack.
Right.
So that was my
That's old
first.
school, man. That's old
Yeah,
school.
man. Yeah, that was
You know,
my
because I
first.
started off with the Tascam 4-track back in the day.
See, I know a little something about that now.
Yeah, you know
And
what
we
I'm
certainly
saying?
dating
But
ourselves now.
you saying that though, it really took me back. But the way that you actually just explained that, I never seen
Yep.
nobody do nothing like that before.
Yeah, man. That was the thing. And so I would literally sing if the idea, put it this way, I was into like Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers. So if I was singing their song, man, if the song was 4 minutes, then I had to do that part, soprano part, 4 minutes, come back and record again, do the alto, tenor. And so over time, what I didn't realize, Tyrone, it was prepping me for the times where I was really in studio,
Right.
where money, time is money.
Oh
And
yeah.
I had kind of prepped, right, for those early years when I got in the studio. It didn't take me long to lay parts because it was kind of engraved in me early on.
Right.
Started out messing with that karaoke machine.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what, man? Preparation is good. Cause look
That's
where you at now. I mean, you're
oh
putting
man,
out
yeah,
tracks, you're putting out music, you know,
yep,
you're doing
yep,
shows, you know,
sure.
things like that. So all that actually added up to a good equation, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and, you know that's the thing about life and some of the things that you experience. You never
Mhm.
really know why you're going through what you're going through initially.
Right.
But as the days go by, you'll be like, oh, okay, almost like that Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, right?
Right. Right.
Uh, yeah, Daniel's son didn't know what that was doing for him, but over time, right? Over
Yeah.
time, it made sense. So
Well,
yeah,
you
I
you
get
never know how life is as far as preparation, man.
sure,
And like you say,
sure.
you never really get to understand it
That's right.
until you reach that peak. Then
There
everything
you
just
go.
starts to forward right to you, and like your mindset is like, okay, this is what's happening. So I'm going to take this to another level now, you
That's
know.
right. That's right. That's right.
And so, as far as you doing performances for people, what was the first place that you ever really did live to really say, well, hey, this is it?
Mm. On a real stage, man. I got a
Yeah, on a real
story
stage.
for
On a real
you.
stage. On a real
I
stage.
well on a real stage when we're talking about a 50 by 50. Well, of course you fast forward a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Man, probably one of the first times I got the chance to perform um, where it was where it kind of took my breath away. I was actually a part of Army Entertainment. I'm sure you're familiar with the military. So there's a branch of the Army that has an entertainment arm, and so some of those broadcasts would be broadcasted to millions. And then, of course, depending on what the function is, if it's an NFL game or what have you. So I found myself right on stage with some of the bigger names in the industry, and it was a little surreal in the moment. Now I didn't know they were going to be broadcasting to millions until about 30 seconds when they came up and they said, "Okay, well the countdown is on." You know, we had been rehearsing
Right,
and
right, right.
all of this stuff, so I was ready. And then they were like, "All right, so this is the broadcast. You got to be sharp.
Hmm.
This is and oh by the way, this is going out to a couple of million." And that shook
Ooh,
me up. But
did
you
the
know, you
butterflies
just
come out, man?
man, listen, it shook me up for a second. But you know,
Right,
I also took on the mindset from that moment on was no matter what, if I'm performing for 50 people or 50,000,
right.
they're gonna get the same show. And, you know, I prepare. I know the music or I know the presentation, and I'm gonna give it to them. I'm gonna give them 100%. If it's 50, 50,000 or a million, doesn't matter.
Okay. You know, as far as singing, man, I'm gonna take you back a little bit, man. Who was your influences, man? You know,
Yeah.
that you say to yourself, well, listen, man, this is giving me something that I really want to do, you know, because sometimes we find that we listen to an artist and it makes us want to really do things that's so surreal. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. Some of my influences, again, growing up in the household with my parents, they obviously they love one another, but man, their music taste was distinctly different.
Okay,
My
yeah,
my
yeah,
my mother was from the Detroit, Michigan area, right? So she's
okay,
from Michigan. So
hmm
as you can imagine, Motown was a
yes,
driving
okay,
force in her
yeah,
life. So
right,
when we walked in the kitchen, if she was cooking, I got sunshine, right?
okay,
So
okay,
I'm listening and hearing Motown, a little bit of
right,
Smokey.
yeah,
And then I would walk out in the garage, Tyrone, and Dad be working on something.
all
And
right.
he listening to cheating in the next room, right? Uh, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
So
man. So
so
you was
so
going
then
through a triangle, man.
Man, listen, it was something. It was something. And then I was turned on to a cappella music early because of
Uh-huh.
kind of how we were raised religiously. And
Hmm.
my mother would listen to a lot of a cappella music. So I was intrigued by Take Six, the a
Right,
cappella group. I was intrigued by Sam Cooke,
right.
Marvin Gaye, David
Yeah.
Ruffin,
The
Bobby
greats, yeah.
Blue Bland, BB King. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the list goes on. So I was turned on to, I guess, multiple facets of music,
Right.
and I found myself over time,
Hmm.
Tyrone, when I started kind of getting into my own.
Right.
I would bits and pieces of Al Green might come out, or a little bit of when it's time to put the background in. I might hear little parts, intricacies from Take Six,
Right. Right.
uh, or a little riff by David Ruffin. You know what I'm saying? All of that's
Yeah.
in there. It's like gumbo. It's mixed up,
Mm.
and it
Well,
depends on what
can
the
I,
music.
yeah. Can I just
Yeah,
piggyback on something, man? 'Cause I listened to your
yeah.
new track, man, and
Okay.
it's like in the beginning when I first heard the track, less than a woman, the first thing I thought about was Bobby Womack because he had
Yeah.
a way of actually his intro was always something about how he's talking about a situation with a woman
Mhm.
and things of that
Yeah.
nature and when I heard that, man, I was like, wow, that's like a Bobby Womack joint, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
And
just to put it
see,
out there. But
yeah.
viewers, he has a new track out called Less Than a Woman, and it's hitting the charts right now. He's putting it out there, and I want you guys to go out there and actually get with it and stuff like that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to play his track. It's called Less Than a Woman, and I want you guys to go out there and spring it up, listen to it. If you're going through a situation and your girl ain't right and she's less than a woman, well, hey, this song might just give you a new platform with her. Okay, so here we go.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
We got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
One day I was at work and I had a female coworker come up to me, and she was hurt down and depressed. She said, "Chris, I need to talk to somebody." And this is what she told me. It's hard staring in the mirror, 'cause I can't stand who it is I see. I see this heartbroken little woman, so sad, so depressed, staring right back at me. Some days I do nothing but cry. I just lay there, and sometimes I wanna die. She said, "Oh, woman, and this is what she told me. She said, I used to wake up in the morning, I had breakfast laid out on the table. I even dropped out of college, I got a job, and I helped him with his mortgage. Well, we even had kids. Sometimes I wonder why I did. Now after all the verbal and physical abuse, I feel so broken, damaged and used. Well, she said, oh, I feel less than a woman. Sometimes I don't feel like myself. Yeah, she said,
Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe. DJ Tyrone Lowe.
that's nice.
The dynamic soul sounds of DJ Tyrone Lowe. And we're back. The show is called The Legends, and we have Chris Legacy in the house. Hey, Chris, man, that song is like dope,
Sir.
you know, really, you know.
Appreciate it.
It's like, how did you actually come up with the concept of it, you know, because is this something was based on life experience or, you know, something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is based on a true story. This is based on a conversation I had years ago with a coworker, and we've been working on the job for quite a while, to the point where I knew her family, she knew me, and obviously my family, and she just shared her story, and of course that when you fast forward now. She's moved on from that situation.
Right.
But to which point the lyrics and the story is based on a true story.
Okay.
So it's easy to write, and I kind of shelved it for a while, Tyrone. It sat on the
Right.
shelf for a long time.
Okay.
And then we decided to do something with it, and
Mhm.
I kind of put my ears on it. And it did to me what it did to me when I first recorded it. It made me
Right.
move. It compelled me, obviously mentally, and the story. Right? It's
Mhm.
obviously just kind of call it what it is. It's a call to action, really, to domestic violence. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
All right.
That's
Okay.
essentially what it's talking about.
Right.
And in fact, we had a screening, Tyrone, not long ago, and
Okay.
we had some women to come in and just watch the video. They came in groups, and groups of 2, some groups of 6, 7, 8, and after they were done watching it, a few of them obviously had experienced what the songs talk about,
Oh.
and
So
so
it was a lot of identification with
it
that.
was a lot. Yeah, of course. They connected. A lot of them connected really well. Either they had gone through it or they knew someone that had gone through something like that.
Mhm.
And some of them gave us testimonials after it was over. So man, yeah, it is astonishing the numbers,
Right.
right? Because
Mhm.
we've communicated with some advocacy programs in regards to the song and got some feedback, and the
Okay.
numbers, man, that
Mm.
go through what the song is talking about is
Right.
staggering. It's staggering. Yeah.
You know, how did you feel personally to actually be able to touch a lot of people like that, you know, where they can actually, because some people doesn't have a sense of expression, and to
Sure.
see a simulation of something like that would actually bring them out. How do you
Hmm.
feel to the point where you actually touched a lot of people, man? I mean, how was your self-satisfaction behind that?
I tell you, I got to be honest. At first, I was a little reluctant about releasing it
Okay.
because of the message in it, and I kind of consulted with other women. You know, I got women in my
Right.
life, obviously, wife and sisters and friends, and family, and they all were like, "Listen, when women hear this, they're going to be able to relate." And so, moving out with that in mind, of course, there's some sense of gratification to know that we're that song is sort of a voice for those who can't really speak
Right.
out.
You know,
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it's been. And a few of the ladies that night said that.
right.
And that's really moving. So to come out and just kind of pump myself and say, "Oh man, yeah, we're doing a great thing." It's really not that type of party.
Mhm.
Um, but to know that a few that we've spoken to, and then there's plenty as the song is making its way in different markets.
Right.
Even now, those that are listening to it, I'm sure if they can relate, that it's moving them in some type of way. So with that in mind, sure, I'm excited that if it's helping and encouraging somebody.
Well, I think it is because there's a lot of that going around right now where a lot of women are being pushed around. And if you go on the website and look at domestic violent groups and see that women
Yeah.
are being targeted by
Hmm.
men that really are really bad to them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what makes a man actually want to actually beat up on a woman or scar her. You know, I mean, like when you meet a woman, she's beautiful. Why would you want to make her
Sure.
ugly?
Sure.
Why would
Sure.
you
Sure. And
want,
then, right.
yeah.
You
And why would
right.
you
I
wanna
didn't mean to cut you
mentally,
off. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
why would you wanna mentally disturb her? I mean, come
Sure.
on. And the most
Sure.
the most sickness of it is that a lot of them go through this process and can't leave.
That part right there, they're
Right,
fearful to say something about what's really going on. And that
right.
was the situation with my coworker. And but over time, that did she did uproot herself from that. But yeah,
And I'm
you'd be
glad to hear that,
surprised,
man.
man. Yeah, you'd be surprised at the number. I've had some guy talk, right?
Mhm.
With this. Somebody said, "Hey man, you need to get a female and do another version of this song."
Right, right.
And I'm like, well, I don't know if it'll have that same sentiment.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just kind of having guy talk, looking at
Mhm.
the other side of this, what made the guy want to do what he's doing?
Right, you know, I think
You
it's
know
a
what I'm saying?
sickness in that. I think it's a sickness in
Yeah.
that. So we're gonna move on to some highlights now, man, you know. Chris, what's going on? Let's talk about some future events, man. Tell the viewers what you're doing, man.
Yeah, man. So right now we're prepping. We got a few things coming up. We'll be in Greensboro. We got a date in Fayetteville. We got Shreveport is on the books. So it's kind of one of those things that we're kind of building some things for a small tour.
Right.
Um, and then we may even be making another release here.
I was getting ready to ask you that. Are you getting back
Yeah,
into
we
the
may be
studio
making
to
another.
to
Yeah, we may
brew
be.
up some new
Yep.
stuff, you know?
That's right. That's right. So we may be making another release, man. You know how it is with this music stuff, man.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know how
most
we are as
definitely.
artists. We're
Yeah, most
sensitive about
definitely,
our
yeah.
stuff, and then we'll say we're gonna release something in 2 weeks, and then it'll be 3 months down the road.
Oh yeah, well,
So it's
well, it has to be carefully planned. I mean, that's the
sure,
industry, man. You know, it has to be to the point where it's like seasonal. Got to
sure.
be the right season. Got
That's
to be the
right.
right
That's
season,
right.
man. That's the key
That's
to
right.
everything in success, man. Season,
Mm,
season,
that's right.
season.
That's
You
right.
know.
That's right.
So let me ask you a question, man, because I ask
Mhm.
all the artists
Okay.
this question, man. You know, for people that really want to get into this industry thing, you know, good, bad, or indifference, man. How would you actually enlighten them?
Um, be your authentic self. Don't come in trying to be like someone else. It's a whole lot of that going on where you just copy and paste, copy and paste. We're living in a society that's that feels to be ran by social media, right? Where you compare yourself to what you're scrolling up and scrolling down to. Definitely test the water, and there's never a perfect time. Some folks say, let me wait, let me get my money right, or I need to wait and get the song right. Nah, baby, just go ahead and do it. Just do it. And you know, the right people will come along. You'll
Most
meet folks.
definitely,
You'll
yeah.
think, yeah, you'll think that, oh, my friends and folks not with me. No, if it's for you, the right people will come along and they'll help you along the way.
You
Yeah.
know, just in life, man, we got to stumble just like we have to crawl
Hmm.
before we walk. And
Hmm.
like I tell most people, man, don't be afraid to make mistakes, man, because you learn from them. You know, and if
Absolutely.
you know, and I tell a lot of artists, because I know a lot of artists, man, a lot of upcoming artists as well. And I let
Sure.
them know, man, that you know, chemistry is the most important thing, man, if you really want to be success. And you're gonna find that your surroundings at times that some of the people is not gonna be there for you in a sense. They just
Man.
want to be a part
Yes,
of you.
sir.
It's a big
Right.
difference between really being there for you and just to be a part of you. You know, it's like oil and
Mm.
water is just not gonna mix,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
saying something right there. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So, you know, we try to keep it real as far as what we're trying to do as far as artistry and
Hmm.
stuff, and
Sure.
don't think about what the next person's thinking because what one person don't like, a million will.
Exactly, man. Exactly. That's certainly the thing. And then another thing I would say too
Hmm.
is discipline and
Yeah,
consistency.
yeah,
You know, discipline and consistency. You know, discipline is the bridge between goals, right, and accomplishment.
right.
Without that discipline, man, you're just gonna be talking and dreaming up stuff. I wanna and I could have. No, just get out there, do it, and honor your commitments.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
most
mean?
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Chris, it's been a pleasure. I mean, a pleasure to have you on my platform, man, and giving it away and your track, you know, letting people know who you really are and how you really feeling, man. And what I got out of this is like when you made the track, man, you know, you wasn't scared to go out on a limb to
Right.
actually say, well, hey, you know, sometimes you got to take that chance, man. And I commend you on that as being an artist. And you see how it paid off, man. You know, it's a brilliant track, you know, and I want you guys to go out there and actually support the brother with this track. And if you got somebody that's going through some stuff right now with that, listen to it. You know, come up with a plan. You know, because there's a lot of people that can identify what's going on. And what is said right now is that this has been another T-Lo video production, and you guys stay tuned for another episode.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.